didn't counter this last turn. Hey, I'm saying there's no way it's enough, actually. Yeah, it's like, wait, everything is like to the third power. Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing Smuggler's Surprise, a deck that I'm absolutely in love with. This is one of my favorite decks to play, especially whenever you're high rolling. This deck feels absolutely absurd. For example, we put somebody to negative 51 in this video when they had 30 life. So that was pretty cool. But what does Smuggler's Surprise do and why is it so good? Well, it has a lot of modes on it. People who know like Tooth and Nail and stuff like that will kind of know what this does a little bit. But it is a green and then it has Spree on it. Spree being the Outlaws mechanic that we got. So you can pay a green and then you can technically play the mana for all the modes. So you get access to all the modes. So instead of this card being like 6 mana, pick 2, it is 1 mana, pay for the rest. So we have mill 4 cards if you pay an additional 2. So that's 3 mana. You may put 2 creature cards, mill 4 cards. You may put 2 creature cards and or land cards from among the mill cards into your hand. So this helps us find lands early or on our opponent's end step. Or we can flash in, like we can grab more creatures that our opponent now knows we have. Flash them the creatures that we are picking up so they know what they have to prepare for. And then there's a 5 mana mode, so a total of 6 mana. You may put 2 creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield. So we can do this on our opponent's end step. We can do it on our main phase, where there's plenty of reasons to do that. And then there is 1 mana on the bottom. Creatures you control power 4 or greater, gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. And what is the main combo in the deck? Well, that's pretty easy. It is Calamity here. We have Enduring Courage, which is really cool, but Calamity is the combo piece, as you would. Whenever this attacks while saddled, choose a non-legendary creature that's saddled this turn. Create 2 tapped and attacking copies of it. Sacrifice the tokens at the end step. Repeat this process once. So basically it makes 2 copies that are tapped and attacking your opponent. And the best card to do it with is Twinflame Tyrant. You might argue that Overlords are kind of cool, but they're already entering the battlefield and attacking, so they only get their ETBs. So they don't get to shoot twice. But Twinflame does absolutely absurd things with Calamity if you do saddle it. Hence how we got somebody to negative 51. But this card says, if a source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals double that damage instead. So just in terms of quick math, this will force 3 copies of Twinflame's Tyrant on the battlefield whenever we saddle it with the Calamity, right? Because there's the original one, and then Calamity makes 2 copies of Twinflame. So the way that double damage works is it actually stacks, right? So 3 damage for the first double becomes 6. And then that 6 gets doubled again and becomes 12. And then that for the third and final copy, that 12 then becomes 24. So each Twinflame does 24 damage. And then it gets even more absurd because you start at a higher power by 1. It actually goes up pretty exponential. So 4 becomes 8, 8 becomes 16, and that becomes 32. So we go from 24 to 32 just off Calamity making contact with your opponent. So it is quite the kind of 1-2 punch that you get with a Smuggler's Surprise that helps you find the cards and also puts them in for relatively free. I guess it puts 1 in for free, right? Because it's 6 mana, 6 mana. But then you're also able to give Calamity that hexproof if you need to. And if you have a lot of mana and not able to do much, you can actually pay all these modes, find the creatures from your graveyard if you mill them over with this, put them in your hand, put them onto the battlefield, and give Calamity hexproof, which is super cool. Another kind of synergy in the deck that I like a lot is the Llanowar Elves that we get to do. Llanowar Elves makes a big impact in this deck. For example, if we turn 1 Llanowar Elves, we can turn 2 an Overlord of the Hauntwoods, which is obviously a very nice play, get a free land. And then on turn 3, we can even play a Roxanne, which then gives us another permanent kind of mana source and also shoots a lot of these creatures down that we need to get out of the way. Outside of that, we have a few removal spells. Burst Lightning is able to be kicked, which works out really, really well when you're talking about Twinflame. For example, if we have a Twinflame and we kick this, it does 8 damage to your opponent. So it's no small amount. And then we have Overlord with Enduring Courage and the Vaultborn Tyrant, which are very sweet. Encourage giving our creatures haste and a +2/0, which is super nice whenever you can sometimes then after play an Overlord, which then enters the battlefield, deals 4, becomes a 7/5, gets haste, deals 4 again, and then hits your opponent for 7, which is really cool. Outside of that, we also have the Vaultborn Tyrant. This gains life. It's pretty good to just like barrel in with the Smuggler's Surprise on instep. Get a couple extra draws with creatures that don't necessarily have haste, for example. Like a Vaultborn Tyrant, maybe say to be more reasonable, like an Overlord, for example. On your opponent's instep, just cast this, put both these in, draw a couple cards, make a free land, and then just have a monstrous amount of power in play that you don't even necessarily like. Maybe we found a Calamity off that draw, and then things get a lot more crazy. So with that said, a lot of explaining to do. I think there's a lot going on in this deck, and I do play it pretty quickly when I'm playing it, I think. So that said, we're going to go ahead and dive into the games, see how they go, and I hope you all enjoyed them. Marina, if you want me to lose, brother, you can like concede before the game starts. I like... What is that? Yes, sir. I have 3 of those, by the way. Every single one of them in my opener. Got a lot of red in these hands, but I am going to go grab a basic green here. Green is kind of our most popular color that we're running. But can we just fight this thing down right away? I guess I don't wait, right? Because they can always respond with like a Monstrous Rage and then get it out of the way. And then if they play something slow here, and I don't find an answer. Oh. Uh-huh. Sure. Yeah, that happens. Starfire Hero, sure. Starfire Hero number 2. I have no idea, dude. 4, 5, 6. I don't know. Let's try. Third land. Yeah. Oh yeah, my bad, dude. Didn't realize you were that serious about it. I wouldn't have done it if I knew you felt that way. Sure, I'm at 10. Having a good time. Not another Heartfire Hero. Please don't play the 4th one. A creature enters, gets 2 on haste. This is 5. That's 10. This is quite funny. Whenever another creature you control enters, it gets a 2/0 and gains haste. That would get 5, 6, 7, and it doubles, so it wouldn't be enough. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Let's just play this. I guess if this lives and I can block, then great, right? Obviously, I'm not going to attack with it here. But if I can wait with it and I can play this with it, then they die immediately. Sure. Just that? No. All right. Oh, this is sick. The police don't let you normally get away with this. This is a felony if I've ever seen one. I would like to deal 8 to you. Then I would like to move to combat, and I would like to deal 8 to you again. Bro, what in the world? Oh yeah, dude. Yep. Uh-huh. Yep. Bro, it did 13. Bro, that one. What? Sure, dude. I don't know. It's like so weird because you kind of need these high volatile hands, kind of. But yeah, we'll keep this. Guess this can go. No, not more mono red. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Fantastic. I mean, I'll take an entire turn off for them. Like I'm with that. And then I get to play the Overlord, play a Roxanne. I'm good. Like, I don't know. Something seemed tricky about that. I don't want to invest. And honestly, fair enough. I'll hold it here. We do kind of need to stay alive again because of Roxanne, but I guess they only had 1 mana. Now they have 3. That's just so many lands. I don't know. I'm not gonna block, dude. They spent no mana last turn. Sure. How much you investing here? They said this is free real estate. I'm in. All right, cool. Roxanne. That's mine. Thank you. Now I have a 4/3. I now have Calamity. I've never seen a Smuggler surprise before. We will block though. Oh no, nothing? Oh, they don't have a spell. Okay. They learned that when Roxanne attacks, that Swift Spear's going to die. The opponent is first. Okay. Well, this hand we definitely lead off on this, right? Because it just allows us to get closer. And if they do remove it, then we get to like glimpse for free, kind of. Especially if they're kind of more of a control deck. Rabbits, maybe? Green white, it definitely looks like. But blue white monster. Okay. I mean, it could be a lot of things, right? Attack. Never know, dude. I kept a 1-lander, maybe. Oh, that result. Sweet. Oftentimes, you'll see control decks do that. Like, where they'll, like, counter your extra spell because they kind of need to. No More Lies is still valid here. Now, if No More Lies is even, like, if it's available regardless, I should just hard cast this. Right? Like, that's the thing. If No More Lies is going to be cast here, they did them all. But if it gets cast, like, it's going to counter it whether I spent 3 or not, so I should just go for it. Another tap land, sure. During. Okay. The Llanowar Elves. Llanowar Elves is going to get huge. And now we get to attack for 4. Small creatures are good. Now, do I get Sunfalled here? Probably. What else would it be? Riddle me that, huh? No way that that's how that just happened. All right, opponent. Got a counter spell? Ah, man. Nah. We're not cowards. They didn't counter this last turn. Dick. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yes. Bro, that lane got suplexed. No way they found Sunfall now. Oh, tragic, dude. No way. I don't believe it, dude. Go for Vaultborn Tyrant. We know they drew the counter spell. No? Okay. Sweet. Take an extra card draw here. Trying to be like a little cautious with this. Oh, I guess I had 3 mana. Maybe I was a little too cautious. I don't know. But they do have to answer this. Like, so I do get to attack with it. And if they let me attack, then I feel pretty good. Ooh, but that's pretty good. All right. Wait, they only have a white mana. They only have a white. All right. We got stuff to do, brethren. No! No! Going first with this hand's pretty sweet because if we get to Overlord, that's super huge for us. And if not, we can always like try to barrel the Smuggler Surprise to mill over 4 cards and get some additional lands or something. We also have the Burst Lightning if they're a bit aggro against us. But Llanowar Elves typically lives quite often. Unless our opponent's going to be the only red player that knows to remove it. No way. Make me sick, dude. I'm upset. Yeah, dude. You know what? Sure. You remove my creature, I'll remove yours. Man. Ah. Yep. I knew this was going to happen. It's how it always goes, you know? We'll remove one of these. Land. Thankfully, we finally hit one. Let's accelerate our mana here. Now, if we do find another land, we get to play a Twinflame. And then that becomes really good. Obviously, we can go for a Smuggler Surprise or something here to hit at land drops. Oh, no, they just hit. They don't have a whole lot going on, huh? I feel like a Terror's got to come in. Not Terror, Twinflame. This used to be a Terror of the Peaks, but now it's Twinflame Tyrant because Twinflame Tyrant is significantly better because double damage is quite wild and what it does to the board state very quickly. Like, there's 0 that this creature can do if I block. Could I block? I mean, I don't mind blocking here, I think. Like, sure, this might give them an out, but also, like, they didn't play anything last turn, so they're not going to have a whole lot more. It definitely clears the creature because it does 6 damage to it. Now, maybe they get me. They play another creature, sure. Just be lucky. I don't know. Get that thing down. Very cool. Isn't it crazy how much more explosive this game would have been if that Llanowar Elves lived, though? Like, that's what I love about this deck so much. Offspringing. Okay. Well, they definitely have to do that. Will this opponent learn that Roxanne does another one the same way that they did? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 6, 7. Lucky. Sure. Here. Then go ahead and pass. Stop. Activate this. Might as well. We'll grab this and this. Play this, and then we'll hard cast this guy. Because Roxanne makes these meteorites tap for 2. And now I have 28. No. Yeah, 28 toughness. Or life, not toughness. We have 2 6/5s in the way. We double block or whatever. We just ensure that we don't die, pretty much. And then we just barrel the Calamity again, or Smuggler Surprise again, and then play the Calamity and whatever else we hit. Hopefully we hit something good, but this hand is definitely probably one of the more stressful ones I've had. I don't know why I say, like, stressful, but definitely is. Let's play Llanowar Elves. Oh, no. Force my own Llanowar Elves in response. Sure. See, I need to take, like, hints from these guys. I should always have a Burst Lightning whenever my opponent plays the Llanowar Elves. It seems to work out significantly better than whenever I don't remove it, you know? Oh, what an obvious statement, you say. Yeah, that's pretty good. My deck that only, like, deals, like, damage. Yeah, that's pretty good. These, I guess. It's like... Interesting. We just have to live, kind of. We need to play this Roxanne. survive somehow. I'm not entirely sure how, but somehow. Maybe I shouldn't have spammed as fast. Nah, they're too smart. Sure. Okay. Here. Get this down. Here we go. Have to survive. Do we survive? So this is 4 regardless. I'm at 4. You have it. No. Okay. What's more damage? It's got to be these, right? I guess it's this one and this one. I think this is enough for... I don't even think that would be enough though. Are they about to learn about how 3 damage tripled is gonna work? Okay. Don't think that gets them there. 29, is that enough? Well, 4 8, I'm saying there's no way it's enough actually. Yeah, it's like, wait, everything is like to the 3rd power. Okay. Like all right, honestly, I don't know what more we really need to do, right? Like, we got there beating mono red most of the way, which is somehow crazy. What? Yeah, I have no idea. It was the weirdest games I've had in a while. Enduring Courage was pretty cool. I liked it quite a bit. The only downside to it, and it's not even like necessarily a downside, is like it is a 4 mana 3/3, which dies to almost everything. Like, but like it comes back most of the time as well, right? So that's like the best part. And we did see it do a lot of work in that one game that we did play it. For example, giving an Overlord haste was sick. That was super dope. I like that a lot. But I don't know what cards. It's so weird because like every card has felt great. Honestly, this a must. I feel like if you're playing this and you're trying to go big with Smuggler Surprise, like these are kind of a must. I've loved Roxanne in this deck because the best kind of curve that you can get is Llanowar Elves into Overlord on turn 2, and then you can play a Roxanne on turn 3, which is absolutely absurd. And Overlord and Roxanne make permanent mana, so you don't have to worry about losing out on too much. So with 3 lands in these cards, you can get a ton of mana early. And then if Roxanne gets to attack, you make more. If Overlord gets trickled down, then even better. But with that said, like, our top end is always kind of the hardest because you kind of want cards that you can just play that are good enough on their own that you don't necessarily have to, like, if it's not like Smuggler Surprise or Bust, right? In a deck like this, where oftentimes it's been that way. You either had to have this and this, where we had to play 4 of these, and then you had to play like 4 Terror of the Peaks, which on its own is kind of whatever. But the thing that Twinflame does for the deck and what it opens up is it just makes like Llanowar Elves hit for 2. And now that sounds small, but if we play a second Terror, our Twinflame, now it does 4, which is crazier, right? Whereas if this was a Terror of the Peaks and we cast a Llanowar Elves, it deals 1, maybe 2 if you have 2 Terror of the Peaks in play. And like their war cost isn't like all that crazy. But then there's the upside of this hitting them, right? If we play one of these and I play a second one, that 3 then becomes 12. And they're like really close to dead. And so when you got that 4 and that 12 coming across, it's really good. And then if you have like Enduring Courage, for example, say we play Llanowar Elves, nothing happens. We get to, like, it dies, we glimpse. So we're now at 3 mana, we play a 4th one, we play a Courage, and then we play a Twinflame. That's just 12 damage on the board. because it becomes 6 and then you double, right? So it's very cool. I like it a lot. I don't know what I would recommend cutting or keeping and things like that. It's just one of those weird decks where today, like, typically mono red has always been a tough matchup, and then we just sat there and bullied it for like 20 minutes. It's really weird. Also, there's a lot of mythics and rares in the deck, so it's a little bit tough to be like, you should craft this, and it's like, well, maybe we just chill, okay? But with that said, I hope you all enjoyed the video regardless, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.